now. You've proved yourself. Are you pleased?
Yes.
And come and get Rex, what have you got to say to them?
They're losers, aren't they? Yeah, they're losers.
Yes.
Right then, in the pits, they're gearing up for round 3 of the Annihilator. Panic Attack was having a few problems earlier. Julia, how are they doing now?
They've got Derek, the technical supervisor, chatting. You giving them good advice, Derek?
Well, I don't think it's good advice, but we're so severely damaged, I don't think we're going to go back in again.
Kim, that doesn't sound positive, does it?
Well, I said it was sticky tape and plastic before we went in, and they hit the back end and just ripped it right off, and we've actually lost magnets in one of the motors as well, so... And the weapon is destroyed, so...
Oh, it's been a great sport. Nuts to go into Annihilator in the first place, but well done.
Thanks very much.
Cheers, Derek. Back to you.
Unbelievable. Panic Attack is out of the competition. And Disco Inferno and Spirit of Nightmare have got to be relieved about that. And obviously, with just 2 of them left, that means we're straight into the biggie. The Annihilator final!
Well, there's been a lot of scraping robots back together for the final of this Annihilator. It's probably been the toughest one that we've seen. We should have had 4 fights to get here, and we've only had 2, but the competition is looking quite strong, we think. Now, they don't call this extreme for nothing, do they?
No, we're amazed it's still working, really. We spent a long time hammering our beams back straight, and there's a few hits left in the disc, so we tend to make use of that.
We've got enough hits to take them out, we think.
Have they?
Well, they've done all the damage to us so far, so perhaps it's payback time for us.
OK.
And our tactics are going to be just push and pit.
Fantastic. In a few minutes' time, we will have an Annihilator champion.
Well, I must admit, I've got no idea how this one's going to go. But, Jonathan, how do these 2 look on paper?
Craig, let's look at strengths and weaknesses. Spirit of Nightmare is invertible. It has the pneumatic lifter, but it is a little bit slow. Disco Inferno has that rotating disc, also can run both ways up, but it is a high ground clearance.
Thanks, John Boy. But now, we always knew there can only be one winner. On Robot Wars, second place is nowhere. So let's settle this thing right here, right now. First up, put them together, take them apart, put them back together again. Spirit of Nightmare! And fire up some frenzy for Disco Inferno!
Roboteers, stand by.
There's the Spirit of Nightmare team, Nigel, Malcolm and Lee. And Mark Marshall and Nick Bullock in the Disco Inferno box. Our house robots in the war zone, the pushing power of Shunt with the axe and the scoop. And Sergeant Bash has fully recovered from the dust-up last time around.
3, 2, 1.
Disco Inferno on the left has the more potent weaponry with the spinning disc, that's for sure, but if Spirit of Nightmare can get a broadside attack on, it can get in underneath that high ground clearance, and indeed does so. There's the lifting wedge at the front, 70 centimetres wide. There's the spinning disc of Disco Inferno. They dodge each other. Oh, you've got to dodge that disc, whatever you do. Again, they're in underneath. There's the little flipper, and something's come off the side of Spirit of Nightmare's flipper. And it's bent and buckled, and I wonder if that will now be able to work properly. Look at that! Almost ripped off the pneumatic lifter, crashing against the ref bot. Disco Inferno will turn and smash against Spirit of Nightmare again. Spirit of Nightmare trying to get side on to get the cone in underneath. Can't do so, slams against the side. Disco Inferno looks a little bit sluggish. Top speed of 10 miles an hour, slightly the quicker of the 2. Slightly the lighter of the 2 as well. Moving again to rip and shred, bend and with effect again. The pit release button's activated. Disco Inferno is to the side. Look at the damage caused to the front of Spirit of Nightmare. And I don't think that is working properly, the pneumatic lifter. They don't seem to be moving freely, Spirit of Nightmare. I think they've been impressive throughout this Annihilator, but when faced with a 30-kilo, 3,000 RPM spinning flywheel of Mark Marshall and Nick Bullock, well, Nigel Paget, Markham Summers and Young Lee had very little chance of survival, it would seem. Oh! Slice and dice time. Backing away to come crunching forward on another assault. Look at that! It really is dishevelled and bent and buckled and almost ripped clean off there. On one side, it's actually buckled back onto itself. Described as a refined wedge, Spirit of Nightmare. There is no refinement in Disco Inferno's attacks. And from now on in, Spirit of Nightmare, it's damage limitation for you. And they know it there, don't they? Lee Summers at the controls of Spirit of Nightmare, 15 years of age at King Edward VII College. Oh dear. The damage is unending for Spirit of Nightmare, and now surely it's buckled in an open position, and look at the back of it as well. As the ref bot starts to count them out, it's almost crumpled. It's almost split apart. And they're out of the competition, Spirit of Nightmare. The Annihilator winner, Disco Inferno. And now the House Robots, Bash and Shunt can come in and finish the Nightmare Boys off. A nod from Lee Summers. Cool in defeat. He knows now the House Robots can drag Spirit of Nightmare off to their lair. Up they go, dropped by Shunt, shoveled onto the floor flipper, and away they go. 100 kilos crashing to the deck. The Nightmare flies on and on and on. But the nightmarish result of the Annihilator final for the Summers boys and Nigel Paget is defeat. And ultimately, the pit of oblivion. Disco Inferno, the last to survive, the Annihilator winners.
Spirit of Nightmare, consigned to the pit of oblivion. The winner, burn baby burn, it's Disco Inferno! That is one battered robot.
Well, yeah, I think so, yeah. But I think we really suffered in the early rounds.
Well, can I just say, I mean, to get this far, robots have been dropping out, they've been pulling out, they've been too battered. It shows the durability of your robot, it shows its tenacity. Yeah. But you couldn't just quite get past the final hurdle there, which was Disco Inferno.
No. They're very good. Very good.
Too much damage in previous rounds.
Well, that's the thing about the Annihilator. You've got to keep going and going and going. There's 6 robots and it comes down to one. But as I say, it shows how durable you've been.
Yeah, we knew what we were in for and we were quite prepared for it.
Unlike some of the robots, you can walk away with your head held high after this, can't you?
Oh, yeah.
Well done. Let's hear it. Spirit of Nightmare! Come on! You won the Annihilator!
We did, yes. It's quite a surprise, isn't it?
As I was saying to them, it just shows how durable your robot is because...
Well, we...
It's nice and malleable, we can bang it back into shape. I think that's what it shows.
Yeah, but like, you know, when you've got 6 robots and they're all going hammer and tongs, I mean, you do take an awful beating there, don't you?
Yeah.
Has the damage been difficult to repair?
Yeah, we didn't think we were going to be back in after, like, the first bit.
We had some hectic times in the pits, really. Working quite hard and...
Well, you really have to build a durable robot if you're going to survive Robotwars Extreme. What do you think of the competition?
Yeah, they were all very good. Nice of them not to have any too hard bits to break our blades off again. But, yeah, that's good.
And you enjoyed it?
Yeah,
Did you think you were going to win?
No, not at all.
All I can say to you is, you're tonight's Annihilator champions. Let's hear it for Disco Inferno! Well, Spirit of Nightmare just had an awful dream. It dreamt they'd just been battered on Robotwars Extreme. Bye-bye.